this old house emailed me last week, they wanted to donate a carriage, an 1853, horse carriage. And I emailed the board, but we were like, nope, we don't have space for it, so they're gonna give it to the Shelburne Museum or something. But yeah, so we're happy where we're at, as long as you guys are happy with us there. Although I would like to see the common school used, but.
I think we've got a lot of work to figure out what we can do there, so that's kind of part of us checking in and seeing.
Yeah, it's like the energy audit. What they wanted to spend would save a year, take 51 years to pay for it. Then that's probably not gonna happen.
That's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing the fitness group out there though.
Yeah.
Just when I was driving here, at least they use it, but I don't, almost like they gotta triple the numbers.
Right, but recreation uses some of it, right?
Yeah, some of the meetings and storage and stuff. But everybody's in the same boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's good, it's just, we gotta check in with everybody, so you know what we're thinking, we know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I don't do a whole lot with the cemeteries just because it's been kind of disassociated since Dick Horgan kind of separated it a while back. So I know you guys talk about cemeteries occasionally. I don't have my fingers in that too much, but if you ever need somebody to do research or talk to somebody, you can give me a shout.
One thing Dick did used to do was he had these signs, who made them up for each cemetery, like Morris Cemetery, Bradley, not Bradley, but the one with Soul Cemetery and that. You notice those signs, he always took them down in the fall and put them out.
Oh.
But I see they're in pretty right, getting in pretty right shape.
Oh, no kidding.
I think they've pretty much disintegrated.
Mark the Tiffany and family took care of those for years.
Yeah.
And he had a number of us in different neighborhoods take them down. But yeah, there hasn't been upkeep.
There hasn't been much done to them. I saw that memorial one the other day. And it's,
Yeah.
Because I think that Consuela or one of them paid for the pressure treated fence around it 25, 30 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, at least most of them are getting mold now, right?
Yeah.
So.
No, that's good to know, because like,
Just the one that.
I mean, I'm thinking some, like 4-H or Boy Scout stuff, they're looking for things.
Yeah.
That's one small thing that can be done by somebody in a high school trying to get the community credits and they require out.
Yeah.
Just you can take them and get them repainted, stenciled or something.
Go through building trades.
Yeah, something like that.
Projects that.
Take them all their semester to do it.
yeah, that's good to know, because if somebody asks, like some people say, hey, can I help? But then they don't want to do certain stuff.
Yeah.
But if they live near a cemetery or something, that might be easy.
I've noticed 2 or 3 of them that really, the paint's coming off. And
Okay.
they're really disintegrating. Dick was good about getting them out, picking them up. And
It's been a long time, there's time to get redone, I think.
Yeah.
Cemeteries.
Yeah, I'll look at that.
I mean, something, or see whether, like that, one of these, as you said, construction, like Enosburg, one of them would do it as a project. Just either rebuild them or, they weren't big. I mean, they were 14 inches by 16 or something. But just had like Leach Cemetery on it, Maury and homes.
Yeah, the Chester Arthur Trails need some work too. I know the school did that a while back.
Yeah, that was one of their projects, right?
They're starting to get the posts and stuff.
Yeah, excuse me.
Could use some work, so I can talk to the Jamie Tibbetts or whoever over there.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So regarding the space, did you have any other questions for Tori about how it's being used?
My part is just don't fill it up with too much junk so we can get around down there, because it does get used for other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as he kind of stays within that room, right?
And don't be bringing it upstairs.
You don't want a horse wagon in here?
I think the buggy would look good here.
Yeah.
Look
Turn
good
it
out
into
front.
a voting booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd look good out front.
Now, can I ask a question on that? Is it okay to hang stuff on the walls? Like if we have a map of Fairfield, historical map, or like some kind of
Do you have a designated spot downstairs?
downstairs?
I know there's stuff all over. I
The
know you
room
got
right
the room.
beneath us.
Yeah, the room beneath us is the one you use, but I see there's stuff other places.
Yeah, not really. The stuff that's outside of that room was just too big when we brought those glass display
Right.
cabinets in. we were move those in and then we were gonna get rid of those. We're trying to find out who exactly donated that stuff, because we wanna give them a chance to go back to the families
Yeah.
before we
Okay.
get rid of it, so it's kind of been a slow thing.
I think that's our biggest concern is, you know,
Yeah,
being confined to a certain room.
okay.
We don't wanna see that hoarder show here one day downstairs,
Yeah.
bringing stuff out.
No, we'll keep it clear.
There's-
We'll get ground smooth junk in there, and
Yeah.
take the big stuff out.
Well, that's basically all we had on it, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
just wanted to get an update.
Sounds good. If you guys wanna volunteer, sign up. I'm looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Tori.
Thanks, Tori. So I think Julie wanted to come talk as well. She called this afternoon. I wasn't sure if we wanted to add that to the
We
public.
always want to listen to Julie. Come on.
But no one else before me?
There's nobody else on the agenda.
If you hurry.
Get up, say your piece and leave.
Okay. That can be quick.
But you're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting.
Oh, thank you.
We always encourage participation.
Okay. Well, I wanted to update you on a couple of things going on that I'm sure some of you have noticed. There's been a little activity in the, near the parking lot. And so we're working on a landscape plan, which I have one copy of, and this isn't really accurate, but, so we're moving the pizza oven structure to a higher ground and reorienting it. We're gonna pour a slab in the probably next weekend.
School's here.
Where it is now or higher than where it is now?
Higher than where it is, yeah.
Are you
So
on
if
a, are you on a floodplain there or what?
yeah, the whole thing is in a floodplain, actually.
Out by the school more, you say?
Yeah, it'd be closer to the driveway, just probably 6 feet, and then we'll turn the structure so it will face the community center, and the pizza oven will face the community center. We're proposing to put a fence in to define the parking lot and the garden space. This is grant funds we have that we've kind of cobbled together.
Your building, you moved down lower, that's in the floodplain worse.
Say that
Your
again?
little storage building, I said you moved it down lower into the water more.
Yeah, it's a garden shed, really, yeah.
It's a wet garden shed.
We'll see. And we have, building trades actually built us 2 additional sheds, one for after school and Black Creek Adventure Camp storage, and then one for the preschool program. That should be delivered this fall. They were built last spring. New lumber for garden beds. That's pretty much it. Oh, and then we would like to terrace the west side of the pavilion where it's a little steep. Have a couple stone steps and then some terraced gardens just to provide access from the west side into the floodplain.
Sort of a diving board is in.
No, that will be off the
Yeah.
south side when the creek rises over the road.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, if the town happens to have any big stones that would work as steps for terracing, we'd love to have them. So I just wanted to make sure you're okay with us doing that to the town property. I think it will improve it.
I don't have any objections, but just myself. So.
The stones you're looking for, you need flat stones?
At least one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe some building stones for the terraces for the garden. I know.
No, there's no stones in Fairfield.
No.
You're more north.
Yeah, actually.
Sage rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, our farm has tons of stones, but I can't take them because people have their eyes on them in the family. All the flat stones have been put on top of the stone.
So
Yeah,
that's what you got in a will, you get this stone, you get that stone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What else at community center? We're applying for a building and services grant to do some upgrades to the east end of the building. Mostly it's new floor, painting, a better sink that's more accessible for older folks and younger folks in the common bathroom. We're also proposing paving kind of those landing sites at each entrance, and trying to put that in the grant to get funding for that. So there's better access for both young folks and older folks. You know, they have a hard time navigating the stones and potholes. What else is on that list? Yeah, mostly flooring, paint, shades, bathroom vanity, countertop. Anyway, I need a letter of support from you guys. I think we can, it's a one-to-one match, but I think we can take care of that with funds we have and maybe use of the funds that the town gives us. I wrote a sample letter and hoping that you could sign it and then I can send it in with the grant. And then this is the budget, the proposed budget, but without the paving because I don't have estimate.
Are you getting any bikers parking there?
A lot, actually. Yeah, quite a few will come in.
You gonna put in parking meters?
No,
Trying to
but
increase your revenue flow?
oh, you mean for the bikes?
No, for the cars that
Oh,
park?
the cars don't, so much bike, there, but the bikes come through. Yeah. I think they're, and I'm sure the Whites and Jim Cameron are not happy about it, but I think there's a lot of just parking on the side of the trail, which I think will come to a head at some point, but. Because Jim and the Whites both said they didn't want that to be a designated parking space.
Yeah, I think a lot of them park in front of the old mill building that they just sold, but a lot of them trickle into Jim's parking lot.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna frustrate
But
everyone over time, but
Yeah, they wind up putting a fence around it.
maybe,
Last time, the V-Trans update for grants for signage, they were postponing it for until next spring.
yeah.
So none of it is coming to fruition.
And if they're that hot stitch for it, they'll tell the ones about the land, get the building out of there, and they got plenty of parking with that old branch.
Yeah, I think, yeah, but the way V-Trans is doing it is they're putting that responsibility on the town for.
No, they're trying to put that
Right, I mean,
responsibility.
right, that's what I mean,
But
they're
the
not gonna
state
do it
owns the land.
themselves.
The land, state owns the land, and we don't own it.
Right,
No, the state owns the land, the shed was,
Sold, and it's sold with, you could be kicked down the road and get the building out of here.
mhm,
So the state could literally go in and say you need to leave.
They are still doing research, that was the other thing that I checked in on. It was a couple weeks ago.
And I know, I talked to Michelle about it, but the parking for your jig is gonna be a little bit more.
organized.
Yes. It was a little dangerous this year.
Yeah,
They were parked, all the way up Mill Street, right on the crown of the hill where
Oh, wow.
it's just one-way traffic.
Yeah.
On the crown right there by Aldi's, and it was,
yeah,
and some people weren't doing, they were doing 30, 40. It was just, and she said that was probably the biggest crowd they'd ever had. That was the most cars. And
right,
I know some were parking over in Jim's and White's and White's kicking out, but,
mhm, yeah, well, I'll
I
mention
don't know
that.
if you could,
We could,
rent some from Stones or, as long as he has room for his gas pumps, and room for the fire,
Right.
to get out of the fire
I was gonna
station.
say, I had a discussion with one of the members, because there
Of
were
the
two
board.
people in front of the fire station that day.
yeah,
What's wrong with you people?
yeah, yeah, well, I'll mention that and put it on.
It was good to see, there was a hell of a crowd over there, that was.
Yeah.
it was-
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a good crowd too.
We
It was-
felt really supported, which was great.
it was-
And then the third thing I had was, with the structure there's been some not great activity in the pavilion at night. And didn't know if, I know there's a light that used to be on for the basketball court, and I'm not sure the status of that, if it was turned off, why it's not on anymore, and if that might provide some security for the area if it was on. It also would allow kids to use the basketball court at night. But I don't, do you know, Gavin, remember any history, or Tom, about that light?
No.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Was that at the end of the court? Or was
Yep,
it-
it's on the,
It was a single pole.
so the
single pole.
northwest corner of the court, single pole, yeah.
Was
Maybe the
wire
bulb is just
still-
burnt.
Is this the light still there? Is it a yard light that the?
No, it's,
Gone?
no, it's there. I mean, it's tall, it's on a tall pole.
Probably the bulb's just burnt.
Could be, I don't know, yeah. But that would be on, I mean, it's, I don't know where it's wired to even.
So I'm just wondering, remember when they were changing all the wiring around up there, whether they disconnected that somehow? Maybe that wire came out of it. Remember a few years ago, they had to get everything
Yeah,
redone to keep, because they used to have some outlets up in a tree or some pool, and nothing was, CBPS or whatever they were at the time wasn't getting anything out of it.
yeah.
Is there any utility poles that close by that would work if we put a street light on?
Besides that one?
Yeah.
That's on a utility pole.
It is, but it doesn't have wires. I mean, I think it's a,
Private pole,
I don't know.
probably.
But there
Well,
is
that could be-
one,
Could be running out of the church or something.
yeah,
But it'd be a lot easier if you just had a street light then.
true, yeah, there is a pole, so between the community center building and the pavilion that's set back a little bit, towards the road to the ballpark, that maybe could, yeah. Uh-huh.
I think that's, to me, that's a solution, because,
Yeah,
and the power company maintains it.
yeah,
you know.
so
People
that would
can't-
be,
People can't complain because they get the right lighting facing down.
so we could just call CBPS, or Green Mountain Power,
Green
who are
Mountain Power.
Green Mountain Power. Okay. And so the town doesn't, you guys don't know anything about that other light?
No, except for like Gavin said, maybe they got it on hook when they did
That's all I
that
could think
work.
had happened or whatever, there was quite a cabal about that power coming out for that jig in the valley when he was right in the park.
Yeah.
And changing wiring out and outlets and.
That's the other, liability of just a wire being exposed.
Right,
So
Yeah.
that's why the street light's way better.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, looking at that. I think that's it, except, I know you were talking about the common school, and I still do have an interest in at least getting a group of people together to talk about potential ideas or not. I mean,
Talk to ones that got a lot of money, because it's gonna take a lot of money to
yeah, oh, yeah.
make something useful out of it, I guess.
Right, right. But there have been a few people that have approached me about an interest in at least
Yeah.
exploring ideas. And then maybe at town meeting, we can have something to present or,
Yeah.
take a straw poll. It's fake.
You want to talk about the options of demolishing that and building something smaller, nice, that you could
Possibly,
really use.
yeah. I mean, there are quite a few needs, in a village center,
Yeah.
but I think that.
And you could almost do the same footprint, because that school's not that big, it's just so tall and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'd have to be some compensation, because they're roads, they're
Oh,
town
yeah,
roads
yeah.
that go around, but, yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe you could even, not that I wanna drag Jim Cameron into another project, but just seeing what, his idea, he might have ideas, even if he doesn't have interest in the project.
Who made your budget up for you?
Meg Patnode and Carol Scott, mostly.
Did the select board have the direction for me, or did you want to sign this letter of support?
Like, Tom can sign it, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned.
And do you need this on letterhead?
I think I could, whatever you think. I think they accept.
Sign it,
I
You
would
guys
just-
read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Dave?
it's okay.
And so what's the town's obligation to this budget, if you get your grants and all that?
It's a one-to-one match, but I think, you budget, I don't know, 3,500 for the center every year. That could go into that. And what I'm thinking for one-to-one match is, though they say, well, I wouldn't say
Did you
it.
see?
Anyway, I think we can
Wanna
cover
sign this or just-
I think if you sign it, Tom.
Because, can you do in-kind stuff?
No,
You can.
but we will. But we can't declare that we are doing it.
So does the select board have any direction around the common school at this point, or?
I think we're open to ideas and knowing we gotta do something.
Okay, well, maybe I'll try to get you some
What did we spend to
information.
heat that last year? It was
Oh, right.
nuts for what it get used.
I'll try to get back to you before the new year or early January with something.
I like Sharon's true ideas. Is there a chance we could take that?
Yeah.
Down 15
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah, at some point, we're gonna make a plan to do something, but it's.
So the 12. Yeah.
To do what we
You
need to do.
Well, to give the school another 3 years, we'll probably want to rent it back again.
Yeah.
That's the way it's gone fast.
No, we know you're one of the ones interested in it, so at some point we'll.
Yeah, well, I'll try to get a few people together and start some kind of conversation. It might not go anywhere. At least, you might feel better as a town making a decision to demolish it. If there's at least conversation about it.
Have you seen the report? Or you-
I did, Kathy sent it to me. So John Baxter and I blew that vermiculite installation into the attic.
So you and John gotta get it out.
No, but it has R25 value. If you don't touch it, it's fine. That's what they said. So we just have to build something underneath it. But, yeah, and I was involved with replacing the windows and
Yeah.
both upstairs and down. But,
I mean,
everything's.
it's amazingly how square the building still is.
Yeah, well, I think that foundation, whoever built that.
That top floor is pretty pumpy.
Oh, it is, yeah,
Yeah.
The floor itself.
The front pillars are.
Yeah, well, just
scary.
because of the weather.
Right.
I think there was too much dancing.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thanks.
Used to be interesting to town meeting over there. Did you go there as a kid?
Okay, thank you.
So just keep me posted on,
Yeah, well, and maybe if you could be involved too. I don't know if you have time
that's a question for the select board. Do you want me involved with the conversations around common school at this point, or do you want to talk about it offline?
At this point, we want to talk to some neighbors and get an idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get something before we go putting time into
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Get some
Okay,
ideas.
but I'll
Just keep me posted.
Kathy what I'm doing.
Thank you for the update. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
Thanks, Lynn.
Whatever. Linda's the one with the goodies.
I don't have it, I just actually come down to just see Brian, so he's not here, so. Then I thought I was some sitting in some meetings, that's what we do.
Yeah. Self-education, right, Chuck?
Well, you got it, man. No, I just, that I was still willing to volunteer for either zoning plan stuff, but I was just trying to catch up with Brian and the other, because I had talked to him since the last meeting, that's on it.
I guess Ron, Morris and,
Let's see.
Okay.
yeah, come on.
Wake up, let's go.
I'm here to support you.
I need all the support I can get.
Why didn't you say hi to you, because you weren't here? You might have been, your car was here, so you might have been.
Yeah, I saw
I
it.
just didn't want to be rude, I just wanted to say.
Oh, well, no, I didn't
Your
think that.
assistant was busy looking at bulbs.
Yeah, tax bill. Phone's gonna ring now.
I think they are gonna be doing that.
I just.
Are you doing the planning and zoning update?
I gave it to them.
Okay,
Okay, so,
and you were interested in that?
yeah.
I said it.
Good evening. Good to see you guys. Thanks for your time.
We did pose a truck.
I think there's two.
Yeah, I know it's on your agenda, but I can certainly talk about it tonight, or I can leave all the homework and I'm glad to come back. But here it is,
A whole update.
have all the information as far as our pricing and availability. And
I think they did something right, nice.
okay, sounds good. So, Mo had contacted me, I contacted Mo just to stay in the loop, so we'd be ready for when our allocation came out, and our pricing, and that came out last week. So essentially I just took our specs, plugged in the municipal discount, and I did take a look at your trade, so I have a trade number, and so I have those updated numbers for you. Right now, we have build slots open for second quarter of next year. So that would, best estimate right now, that will be built sometime in March, April, or June. Arrive to us hopefully by the 4th of July or shortly afterwards, and then have time for the truck to go to the body company and get the equipment on it.
Before winter.
I will tell you, because I've been in many discussions with Viking, I'm sure Mo has heard, now that they're the only body company in the area, they are extremely busy, and they're expecting next year to have longer build times. Where normally their build time could be anywhere from 6 weeks to 10 weeks, it could be later than that, so. But earlier we could get the chassis there, the better, so.
You're saying that Fairfield doesn't do it anymore? Or
I'm sorry?
Viking is Fairfield.
Viking is not Fairfield, is and Tenco are one company now. It's owned by Alamo. So the facility in Morrisville and the Tenco facility in Barry are now done out of Hopkinton, New Hampshire, which is not convenient.
That's what road, I don't even
Now it's a
build them, I know facilities and.
And nor do they have service available any closer than Hopkinton, New Hampshire at this point. So, all but one truck that I sold last year ended up going to Viking in Williston for equipment, just because of, proximity, so.
Are there any, there's no other options around at all?
They're not. Alamo, which is HB Fairfield and Tenco, they have locations in Hopkinton, New Hampshire, which most of the Vermont trucks go there. They have a location in Lakeville, New York, which is in western New York. Some of the builds have gone to Skowhegan, Maine. Again, not any of them close options, so. And that's certainly up to you. I would certainly work with all the other companies, but I just would just kind of give the lay of the land. That's where their situation is at this point.
So no intention of, to putting anything in Morrisville or?
No, I talked to Tenco and Fairfield, the Alamo Group. They have been working for the last 9 months at least, trying to get somebody to service their product, and not for installs, but at least to give you service and parts. But that has not come to fruition, so not an option right now.
So they're closing those just labor-wise or just,
I'm sorry?
the reason they closed Morrisville is labor-wise?
Yeah, I think there were challenges both in Morrisville and in Barry. I think they had some quality control issues, and I heard that right from the rep of consistency. So that's why they decided to have everything go to Hopkinton. It's a fairly large facility, but it's really a distance away. But, yeah.
So how far away is that roughly?
It's good 2+ hours for you guys. Almost just north of Concord, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
on 89. So,
2 hours. Oh,
yes, so,
3 hours from here.
yeah. Good job.
Huh.
So,
So what other good news you got?
the good news is, as I mentioned, we have our allocation, we have our pricing. Last year, we had a similar process, and it worked out fairly well. Our builds have been pretty much on track. A few delays here and there, but what happened was by November, 1st of December, we were sold out of all those Freightliner slots. Western Star added a little bit more time for us. But also those built slots that we were filling at the end of the year were trucks that were gonna be built a year from then. So instead of, where you may have a 12-month process right now to receive a truck, if you wait until November, maybe even October, we're not sure how quick the build slots will go, your truck may take a year and a half to come. So that's why I wanted to get out of the gate early and let you guys know where you were at.
Must make our truck more valuable.
Last year you put us on the list, right, but.
I did, and right now, we actually have a spreadsheet, and I have, so for example, I have 9 more build slots for Freightliners for second quarter. Then we'll start filling the third quarter slots, which would be July, August, September.
Right.
But obviously, the further we get out, the more or less of a chance you have to successfully get a truck before winter.
Do you have in the fine print increase that happens to come up, or is that?
I do have that, that little waiver down the bottom. The good news is, we haven't had any surcharges, since, your last truck.
Oh, since our last one.
So,
You built enough into that
no,
to carry
they
it
just
forward.
keep adding it in. They figured this out, so they don't have to disappoint people. They just put it all up front. I think they have better control over their cost in purchasing.
I think steel and everything sort of stabilized a little bit.
It has. They tell me that computer chips are still the big issue, in controlling that cost and availability, but things have worked as well as they could have. I think it's worked pretty well the last couple of years.
So outside of that truck, what you're looking for, what, are there big changes coming to the lineup, or is it a standard truck, did you get rid of the DAF, or?
There is, state of Vermont and the emissions thing is a moving target, and because they're allowing each state to do what they prefer, and Vermont is leaning towards to do what California does.
Gee, that's surprising.
And as a matter of fact, with quotes that I was doing 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I was actually including all those additional California emission charges. So we would be prepared. And then we have heard word from Daimler, who oversees Freightliner, that we are safe for at least the next year, maybe 2 years on any California emissions. But that all kind of comes into play locally at the state level. So that's
I thought you were gonna say you had to buy an electric one.
It's
It's coming.
It is coming. There are no electric plow trucks, so you do not have to worry about that for the next few years. The next big hit will be for 2027 engine model years. So that's yet to be determined, but there could be some changes for sure. And if I had to order the engines for the California emissions, that would be a different exhaust system than what we're currently proposed. So you're safe for another year. Yes.
So you spec'd out a truck similar to the last one?
I did.
That worked good, no?
Yeah.
What you needed?
There has been obviously a significant, just like everything else, significant increases in the last 2 years, both on the body side and the chassis side. Warranties went up slightly, but not significant. But, and I can leave all this with you, but roughly the price of trucks has gone up about $36,000. Your equipment has gone up about $16,000. But I do have good news. Your trade value also is gone up $10,000 on your current truck being traded in, so.
So you're only up 40,000.
Yeah,
Quickly in my mind, and you're talking 41,000.
yeah.
Rolling numbers, of course.
Yeah. But it has helped a little bit. And it certainly helps.
Well, we are trading in the international, so.
No, I'm afraid not. No, they've been doing very well. Your last truck, we had a value of it, and this one valued $10,000 higher, same year. This one had an Allison transmission, so that helped the value also over the manual transmission.
How many miles are on the truck now that we're talking of trading towards this?
Which year truck is being traded in?
We gave an appraisal on the 2017.
2017.
Has 73,000 miles on it, 4,596 hours.
That's James's truck.
Yeah. And like your other trucks, in very good condition, you guys do well. And again, it's 8 years old next year, and it's a good time to hold those values and move on. I actually figured out that for what your purchase price was in 2017, it's held almost 40% of its value. It's pretty good, 8 years of use.
Buy a used pickup, see how it's valued.
Right.
Wow. These are broken values like these used pickups are.
So I've given a copy to Mo. I've got a couple copies here. If you need more, I can
Just
get
take a
them
quick
to
look
you.
at it.
This are the truck specs. These are the plow truck or plow body specifications. And then this is a breakout of the extended warranty that we have purchased for the last few trucks. Cost of the warranty for the last truck was $13,507. About an $1,800 increase. Previous plow package was $71,300.
So this price here, the quotation doesn't include the warranties yet, right?
It does.
It does?
Yes. Under dealer installed options, that number is the plow package and the warranty combined. So it does include the 7-year warranty.
The
Yeah.
ones that we always get.
Correct, yeah. The axles are only covered for 5 years. It's a minimal cost, but that gives you your 7 years of coverage. Which I think has worked out well. Actually, many towns are going to those 7-year warranties, understanding these parts and labor are very expensive now.
Yeah. Labor especially. Especially if you have to drive it 3 hours to get there.
Yes. Charlie Boys is still local and we're close, so that's the good news.
So you'll have one on hand to have us borrow it? lend to us.
Are we not planning on that?
To New Hampshire, or
But there have been times when a town's gotten into a hard spot, Mr. Charlie Boyd allowed them to use a truck if it was gonna help. But we don't just keep one there now.
so this price, how much is it up from the other last truck we bought?
Your last purchase was, after the trade, was 156,995, and this one is 193,1. So $36,000.
So this number is everything included, like trade-in is deducted.
That is correct.
Is that your best price, or is this the
No.
starting point?
You said the truck increase is 36,000, but the equipment increase was 16,000, correct?
Correct, but we gained $10,000 on your trade-in value, so that did offset the complete. So yes, Tom, I do have a better number.
One more price.
So, as I talked about with Viking, the challenges of the truck sitting
Keep this
there.
one, Ian? Just that one we can keep? Is that
Yes,
right?
yep. With that, because we've had discussions with Viking, and knowing that, you know, normally a truck would only be there for 2 months, 3 months would be the odd occasion, so we've really kind of planned that into our cost. With Viking painting the picture that, you know, a truck might be there for 6 months, we've had to plan that into our cost. So we are willing to give a $5,000 discount if the purchase of the chassis is paid for before it goes to the body company. So it could save you $5,000. Not all towns, you know, have that ability, but we want to put it out there that if the chassis is paid for before or at the time it goes to the body company, so we're covered on our end, then we can discount your price $5,000. That's essentially what we have to build in to make sure we're covered.
And what's the timeline that we have to keep those good slots? How many weeks or?
Like I said, I looked at my spreadsheet today, I've got 9. Somebody could come in tomorrow and order 10 trucks and have them all.
First come, first serve.
I'm sorry?
First come, first serve.
Yes, it is. But we certainly don't need a down payment, we just need a commitment, a signature, and one of those slots would be yours. So that's certainly something you can do in the near future that would be.
And there's no penalty if for some reason we didn't take it, is that correct?
So I can offer that in a cover letter if this purchase is based on a favorable town meeting vote for your budget.
Right.
Yes, I can do a cover letter to allow you, if your budget is voted down and not approved, and the truck is included in that, then we can give you that option. That's correct.
And as far as an arrival date, that's all up in the hands, right?
It is, but in the second quarter slots, we're gonna be in better shape to get a truck to Viking in the summertime than when we're talking 2 months from now, telling you it's gonna be 18 months to get your truck instead of possibly a
Can
year.
you send Mo or Kathy the cover letter just so we can,
Yeah,
or you have to?
I may even have a copy here. So, this would be, just so you have that document for the discount. If you'd like to take advantage of that. Yeah, certainly I could adjust this any way,
I want to keep that so we get it from meetings.
I could adjust the verbiage in there, but essentially we would sign that and agree to,
So it's pretty much identical to the 17 that's getting traded in. For the last truck you got.
So there have been improvements inside the cab, the dash layout, some of the options. The outside of the truck look exactly the same. But being the next generation, they call this now 114 SD Plus instead of a 114 SD. The difference is it has a Generation 5 Detroit D13 engine, so when your last truck was 505 horse, 1850 torque, the new Generation 5s go to 525 horse, 1850 torque, a little more power. The emissions works more efficiently on the passive regen side, so most plow trucks, if they regen once or twice a year, that's a lot. This new emission system, there'll be fewer regens than that. So some trucks may not even need a regen, so that light may never come on. I think when we were talking to James, he said he's done a regen in 3 years, 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
It hasn't been too much. You guys do a good job not idling those, because that's where you tend to have your
trouble,
emissions. Yep. So those are some nice features. They have moved some of the power windows, door locks, those features that used to be in the center of the dash. They're now on the door. Sold International for years, so to give credit to them, they have their controls on the door like International Western Star does, which makes it a little more user-friendly for the driver. The new Generation 5 dash display is more digital, but it also allows you to look at your exhaust system. So say they're going to do brush work for a week and they know they're going to idle, or they're doing potholes and have the trucks out there where they're not working hard and just idling on the side of the road. They're actually able to go in and look at their exhaust system to see how close it is to maybe having a regen. So they can look at the health of their exhaust system, which is another tool to help. So some good features, nothing drastic, but just some good features with this new chassis.
Color-wise,
I'm sorry?
color?
Exactly the same. We don't want to go, though I do like the color of the International. I'm thinking about the truck, but I do like that color, but no, that Fairfield red is there.
Well, I didn't know if it was another blue one or green one.
You can get whatever color you want. Hey, we could go pink, whatever Mo would like.
Camel.
Camel. But yes, that's the option.
This cover letter, is there any way it could be worded so if the board decides that this year is not the year for a truck, other than just being not budget voted down?
I would have to check on that, but normally we do that just for a budget year. But I could certainly take that up the ladder and see if that would be an option for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what you guys think. This is tied to,
For those you never know, you could have a tax revolt.
yeah, this is tied to the budget. And,
Yeah.
You said those 9 slots were available before the build would be complete 11 weeks from the beginning, which would start when again?
So our, those build slots would be for the Freightliner chassis. So any of those, so if we took one of those slots, it could be built anywhere from the first week in April to the last week in June.
Okay.
And then it's normally 30 days for it to transport from the factory to us. Then we need it for a week, and then it would go directly to Viking for your body outfit. The body outfit is, as I said, this could be the challenge.
That's
next
the real
year.
variable.
I got a couple of trucks as quick as, matter of fact, I got 3 trucks in a row that only took 4 weeks each one. But that was kind of odd. They were in a lull and I had trucks, the Viking was looking for work, so. But yeah, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
But they're kind of painting the picture for me that could be a longer process than normal next year. Just want to be upfront with you.
Right, and I
Don't
think
want to overpromise.
later you get into the summer, the busier it's gonna be,
Absolutely.
you know.
They start stacking deep. Yeah. I've got 2 waves of trucks. A wave of 10 or 11 trucks and another wave coming later, that all those towns I promised, I said, you should just plan on running your truck for next year, because
Yeah.
probably see that after spring.
There's something we're going to go.
Yeah, start planning it.
If you have any questions, give me a holler, or have Mo give me a call, but it'd be helpful for me to stop back. I'll certainly follow up on,
Yeah, they're probably gonna be interested, just because I think numbers in their heads. Getting around.
Yeah. That's why if that was worded a little different, it would kind of give us a little breathing room, but, yeah.
this would be, our typical sales agreement, just so it's laid out in detail. So if you do get to the point, this, certainly could, sign this document. And yes, there is fine print in there about surcharges, and let's just hope we don't have any. It's been good so far.
Certainly about cutting your commission if the other ones go too high. Yeah. We'll do that.
Check on
Well, it's a ladder now.
I'll check with my people about that.
my people call your people.
They'll do lunch.
Right. We can't do breakfast because we've been down that road already.
So I guess for right now, guess we're done for now. So,
Excellent.
Yep.
If you have any other questions, let me know. Thank you for allowing me to.
We've had good luck with the product, so.
If you see those slots filling, make sure to let.
Get on the phone. I certainly will. Yeah, I watch them every day, so we'll,
I think
we'll
they're
certainly let you know.
definitely gonna fill.
Oh, yeah, just gotta wrap our heads around these numbers.
Understand.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, well,
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yes, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sandy.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yes.
Yeah, the trouble is if you keep them too long, they never stick
I
around.
should have, I think the warranty be off and something, that's what, whatever,
7-year warranty.
yeah.
Some of these will change here.
They're not gonna drop in price, I know that.
You know, we definitely, if we wanna keep our schedule, I think we should.
So when is that Ford, the smaller truck supposed to be? There's two of them, they're both arriving now apparently.
Yeah, October.
And I did bring the, small truck, the checking account balance for you, if you want that.
Well, I guess, there's two of them coming in, there's one, you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, you probably know.
They were both, one was ordered and then it wasn't coming, something, then they talked about another one with a longer frame, is that, am I thinking?
Yeah,
this right?
the long frame.
Anyway, they're both gonna arrive. I mean, you're not committed to them both, but I guess you got an option to choose them. Phase.
Yeah. And they both, I'm pretty sure they're both red too.
Yeah. Won't have to ride around that black one no more, right? And that's the same old story about getting a slot for,
Yeah, the plow equipment gonna be,
that's gonna be out there ways.
yeah.
Cause Jim's got hold of me the other day and just kinda like, just what he said. You gotta make a commitment here if we're gonna take one or something.
That's why if they just change that wording a little bit in that letter, I'd be willing to take the slot.
Yeah,
Then if something big come up, then you just change your mind.
if something major come up, like this little truck, I mean, Jim asked me and I told him, he just asked me, I said, get hold of the other guys, but book that slot for that truck. If we're gonna buy it,
Right.
it's small one. We don't book that slot with this Viking crew, he's gonna be up the creek and have the truck and have a slot put the body work. So,
Cause they kinda talking, it could be, next April time that equipment get put on with Viking, cause Viking is,
yeah,
it might be, but then they might know that if you back down your truck or whatever truck you come in, they can slide it
slide
in.
one in.
So it's a,
Wow, so there's none left in Vermont, they're all in New Hampshire, New York.
Well, it's like he said, the last 2 or 3 trucks he sent, they got them back in 4 weeks, so I guess, you know, the quicker you do it,
That's why I talked to him midsummer in June, he didn't have the price, and I said, as soon as we know,
Yeah, we'll
get
get
to the
started.
select board, if they're
no,
gonna
I meant
buy
for the
equipment.
350, the
Oh,
the
yeah.
550, you know?
Mhm.
God, it wasn't 2 years ago, it was 59,000 to get those trucks. Remember that, 60, just under 60. 4 years ago.
But yeah, I would say if we're gonna do that, I would get it sent, send it.
So anyway, I think the way I understand it from Jim, we're locked into a slot for, when that small truck comes in, right?
On the equipment?
Yeah.
I'll check tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was getting calls on. In my mind, you could always cancel the slot if you had to, but if you didn't have a slot, you were at the creek, the truck comes in.
Right. The
Is
truck,
the truck in or not?
No, October,
late October.
but Viking was one to, make sure, wanted to get, they're on the thing, if you were gonna get in there with it. Is again, as you said, it could be 6 months, could be a month, depends if other people back out, certain things, other trucks don't come in.
So we haven't finalized that price yet, right?
No,
Don't,
Are those identical or is something a little bit different between them, or do you know?
I don't really honestly couldn't answer. I think they are same, but,
might be color difference or something, right?
no, they both will be
Both
red. It was gonna be silver,
Yeah,
and they said silver, yeah, color, just a color, but. and they
probably
said
have a
go
number
for-
on that by the next meeting, I suspect. We can finally, because they haven't committed herself to buying things.
They ain't committed to give us a number yet either way, so.
Yeah.
so.
Because how many miles are on that little black truck?
50, I think a 52. I don't know what that hours.
And that thing gets pounded over a lot and ran with a lot of weight on it.
They're not easy miles.
Pardon?
They're not easy miles on that.
No, and we know that we got a issue with it, so
Yeah.
I would guess as soon as they give us some figures we can agree on.
So we don't, hopefully by the next meeting, we'll know more and people think about making a commitment for that other truck, the big truck, that'll be a year out, year and a half. I know the guy that brought the dumpster to my place, they got a Peterbilt. And he said that truck, they had waited 2 years for it. Yeah. Said it was just exactly 2 years and 3 days from when they'd actually ordered that Peterbilt. And that was a roll-off, big tri-axle roll-off.
Yeah, I know we had the 550, or, yeah, 550, it was gonna be 600 now, but. Then we had both on the plate, but. We're in that 7-year cycle,
No, not.
you know, yeah,
And this one's gonna be a side dump, not,
yeah, the 550, yeah.
which is probably a little safer cruising around with that little solo.
Yeah.
And plus you get the traction for it.
Yeah.
And the stones and stuff don't bother it so bad.
Yeah. The front plane.
It's a good option for me to pull a little traction down for you.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good track, good option.
Well, like you said, plus the body up in the.
Yeah, you haven't got that up in the air, and no one knows you're gonna come across.
We, what, 99, you know, year we, first side note, yeah. You know, but we're from the old school, we had the sand behind us coming out. You can't make a hill, but it felt good having that sand right behind you.
Yeah.
You could be laying that sand, which you do, lay that sand on, we go up the hill too. And it does save you, so. Took us a little, we started going backwards, you ain't seeing anything back here.
Yeah.
But nice having a dump down there.
Well, a lot more stability.
And, yeah, top of the line, trees, stuff like that.
Especially when you tree limbs are
Yeah.
lower than.
Ice storms and.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
I got a voicemail back from, Joe Monday, so. Sounds like first week of September roughly, in Shelburne right now. I called him that day just to see
Yeah.
how we're doing, and
Chuck, you out there?
Somebody was losing rubber.
They don't get too much rubber on their tires.
Did you come up with a paving, what our paving is gonna be, the number?
So there's $200,000 in grant funding for paving. We've spent $55,000 on the paving project for the match. We have $155,000 available in the budget, but $55,000 has been spent already on the culverts and the preparation work. So we have about $100,000 left in the budget for the paving part of the paving project. And then an additional $200,000 from the grant.
Because when we worked with them at night, we didn't know exactly what our numbers were gonna be.
Right.
So you're talking,
300,000.
yeah. Well, Joan give you a ring on that.
Right, because at our meeting, we said we were gonna spend all of it,
Yeah,
maybe as much as we can.
And then
because
we
we
had a
started
meeting.
just before
Versus, Pat's.
Pat's place, instead of doing the whole intersection, we're starting down further, so.
Yeah.
And then you had requested that I make some transfers. I moved some of the materials budget that had gone into construction into the paving project budget. So I did that, which is the $55,000. So that brings it to 100.
Culvert project looks good. You guys did a good job.
I'll try to hold you.
No animals were injured in this experiment. Had some animals driving through though, didn't you?
Few,
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
How many fish have you seen swim upstream yet?
What?
How many fish have been swimming upstream? Did you have to put gravel in the bottom so the fish could
Yep,
motivate?
yep.
Did you keep a count? Did you keep a counter there like the blacktop or something?
No,
Put a counter at the top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a camera there.
Infrared so that we could document it.
Make sure it's working right.
Well, you guys seen the signs down there, Jeff left them up, I think they're September 8th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loose gravel.
Yeah, he said, we got some little signs, he said, we'll leave them up, which he did, which is good. Yeah, I think he called me Saturday. He spoke again hold of, Hunkerford, Jim Hunkerford, to pave that mid-September here,
Yeah.
then the guardrails go up.
No, and then, so what's your next project start on? Pumpkin Village?
Yeah.
No, that culvert came last, at least one of those culverts down.
Yeah, yeah,
Grass is growing, get enough rain.
yeah. Yeah, that's why, that project.
Excuse me.
Came out good,
Anything more, or
that's it.
anything more? Cause I'm ready to go to bed.
No, I'm too. I wanna get one.
So
Thank you,
Tyler, I
Morris.
don't know if you want to have the update from Tyler about payments or if you want to talk about that during the budget conversation.
Well,
We need to talk about final payment and tax anticipation loan discussion. Which I text, I emailed folks about.
Post over my
Yeah, then we also have like,
James, you can go over.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, so following up on the in-kind
If
piece,
he can change that.
I did talk to
Let's take this
Tyler
along.
and I looked at our contract and verified that we agreed that we wanted to do the in-kind piece through materials and the road crew. So when we saw that expense in the last meeting, that's what that was from. Tyler, that verified that as well.
verified you were credited for that?
So, yeah, it's not part of the final invoice from, for the project.
Thank you, guys.
So regarding, we do have to come together about the balance of our checking account currently, the debt that we owe to that company and the amount that we need in order to cover that.
Right,
I
it's
have this, and I just wanted to make
just
sure
a
that we
really good
discussed
part of
that.
our tax anticipation loan, so now she's got it calculated out what we need to get through when
The
taxes.
majority of that's
So it's
coming
not-
out of the balance of that.
Is this something after, because I'm real quick, and I'd like to go home.
Yeah, so would I, make it quick.
Okay, got an errors and omissions.
This is where we are right
When Pine Hill Land LLC combined part of their properties because they're deeded the same, made a mistake on the square footage of the second dwelling, and the water and sewer calculation. So they went down $64,000. We need this select board signatures to say that's okay. Swizzler Point, the road apparently has been misspelled all these years. It's not a Z, it's an S. I asked Melanie because it's a 911 thing. She said the select board would have to authorize the change and then the people would have to pay for the sign. So will you authorize Swizzler Point to be spelled correctly with an S instead of a Z?
Also, who's Pine Hill?
Your cousins,
So,
Lawrence
who's asking
and
this,
Kevin, and,
who's asking this change of sign?
well, the heirs of Swizzler. They're just asking if the spelling can be corrected.
How does it spell? I'm sorry.
It's been spelled with a Z, it's not supposed to be a Z, it's supposed to be an S. And it's been misspelled ever since you named the road, so I kind of passed it off being, a 911 address, there's a little more than changing spelling. So Melanie said, because she's a 911 person, that you guys have to approve the spelling change. So I just throwing that out there. The other thing,
So any cost incurred with it goes to the ones on the property on the road?
what's that?
Any cost associated with this goes to the people that are on the road?
I would say the person requesting the sign be changed.
Or we can just leave it as is, right?
I mean, it's been this way forever, so, not forever, but since this,
So this 911 thing get put in place? Or
Yeah.
the roads were signage at the end
Yeah.
of the roads?
I mean, I think it should have came up a long time ago, but I got the email about it, and
So they're made aware if a sign change comes up, they're responsible for the cost of the sign?
well, I'm gonna give them all that information. Thank you for this, guys. I was
Do you have
told,
a letter to sign in anticipation of if they approve of that, or you just need an okay?
I can tell them the select board's okay with it, but you have to pay for the sign, if that's what you wanna make a motion.
That's where everybody else done it.
Are they the only ones on the road?
They're not even on the road.
Well, then leave it
Yeah,
alone.
no. 'Cause
No, I think
you
they
gotta-
are on the, they are on the road, I'm sorry, I was
It's a-
thinking white, they
It's the
are on
same-
the road.
It's the same road that we just talked about, the bridge going over.
No.
No, it goes down to where the Christmas trees are.
Yeah.
No,
There is quite a few places up
there is quite a few, this person does have a camp down that road,
there.
so,
I would make them aware of the cost of the sign and all that before I go switching the names in.
Tell them
You really- you
tell them
make
to
it-
get a petition from all the camp owners on that road, if they
Right.
want it renamed, we'll talk about it, but.
yeah,
Well, it's not, it's the same name, it's just a,
spelling, but it
Spelling.
screws up everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of logistics to it, so
I
that's,
would think I'd make sure they're aware of the cost associated, it falls on them, sign, they get it
But
put
even
out.
all your tax stuff is.
everything,
Yeah.
all their billing, everything, so it's the logistics
I'm less
thing.
inclined to do it unless it really comes to a head, you know?
Yeah. So, and tax bills went out yesterday, so phone calls will be coming.
Oh,
So anybody, if I can have some volunteers in here, at the end of the week, answering the phones, explaining everything, that'd be great.
did you
Thank
leave a good dessert?
Right price, I give them the right
I
information.
took it out of my freezer.
Well, it's freezer fresh, but how long?
So Kathy's.
Yeah,
got
so-
more numbers.
So we took only $400,000 out of tax anticipation loan. We've been running with that, we have a large expense of $455,000 for North Road. And
But how much of that North Road's getting paid for out of that federal money?
we
ARPA money.
haven't received it. We haven't received the federal funds yet.
When are they anticipated?
They said 1 year from closeout. So we closed out in December,
So we might get the remainder this.
we
summer.
might get the remainder this year,
For Joy.
for July.
Right, but I'm talking, we were
How
gonna
much
use
of this-
ARPA fund to do most of the work on this, or a great portion of it.
Oh, yeah, V-Trans works with a reimbursement process, so we have to close out the entire project, pay all of our bills, do all the documentation, email that to them, utilizing their formulas and their
Right, but we, for our
And then
town
we
share,
get-
we were going to use the rest, a majority of that ARPA money.
Okay,
So that won't come into December, is that what you're
So
saying?
what I'm saying is that, so we have a general operating budget, but then we also have an operating account. The operating account balance is low, and we are expecting $982,000 in revenue, which hasn't come in yet. But at this point, when it comes, and the tax bills didn't go out until yesterday, so some of that would have been tax revenue that we expected earlier.
They never go out till August.
And then the FEMA, well, I'm just saying that what we have now is, I had requested the $700,000 tax anticipation loan to cover all of these expenses.
So just keep it simple.
We have.
You've got 400,000 out of it already, this anticipation loan, is that what we're?
So what we have as the balance in our general operating account is $208,000, and we have a $455,000 bill to pay.
Right. Of the operating advance we were gonna get, how much of that have you actually taken? It's into-
We took $400,000 for the tax anticipation loan to cover the overall costs of the expenses.
And you asked how much originally?
700,000. And
So
we
we
have-
we authorized the full 7?
We authorized 4, now she's
We
asking.
authorized
So
for
now you need authorization for the other
300,000 to cover the balance of being able to pay
Yeah,
this.
I'd make a motion, we authorize the extra 300,000.
And the interest rate is 2.9%.
But what I'm asking again after this is, when do we receive the balance of our ARPA money?
The ARPA money has come in, but when we look at the overall budget for the year,
Right, but ARPA money was going to be used to help pay for this, right? Am I mistaken on this or not?
yes, but we have to replenish our checking account in order to do
Right,
that.
no,
So
what I'm
yes.
asking is, the 300 you need to make this payment.
Yes,
But where is the money now, the rest of the ARPA money?
that money has come in
It's in an account somewhere,
and it's expended.
it's all spent?
What we do is we create the budget and then we use all of the money we have one general operating account. So all of the money is budgeted and accounted for in NIMRIC, and we keep track of that and reconcile that with our bank account so that everything that we're spending along the way, and this is how it's always been, and this is how I've been trained to do it, everything we've spent along the way is accounted for in our accounting system, but we have one general operating account. So the general operating account for our operating budget and all of our expenses has that balance in it. And we're accounting for putting that money toward this expense. So yes,
Okay, so I guess what I'm hearing is, we've spent the ARPA money to fund the thing till we get to the point that we get reimbursed to put the money back.
right.
Okay.
And that's through that grant or whatever, right, the state.
Right, well, the federal monies we were getting.
Right.
Yes.
So I made a motion that we borrow the extra 300.
I'll second.
Second.
The second.
We're all in favor of it?
Aye.
Thank you. I have the library MOU, final draft, which includes the language that you had requested they put in it, to sign, but we also would need, it would be signed, by our chair, so Tom would sign it, but we need a motion to accept it because we don't have lines for all of the select board to sign it.
You wanna look at it?
No, I'll just glance at it, please.
It just says this memorandum shall be reviewed every 3 years and or at the request of either the select board or the library trustees. And that was the one addition that you had requested in the last meeting.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it, because that's what we asked, so that's in there.
So motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm through this list. I do have a budget status report, if you'd like to look at that with me today.
Just give us a summary of it.
Yep, so the summary, the basic summary is that we're right on track. So when it comes to the amount of money, let me show you, let me see. Get the right page in front of me. So, this year, our total expenditures are at 49.35%. Last year, at the same time, we were at 60%. And that was at the end, so I'm looking at the end of July, period 7. Since then, the first payments for period 8 have also brought us up about $59,000. So altogether, our balance right now of expenditures is $659,791. I did make the movement, I moved some AP that you had requested, I said before, from the construction lines into paving project. We have expended and still are over in the materials line for construction once that has been moved, but that's as it was last year too. So we're not, in terms of the percentage used, it's very similar again. We paid our final, the 2023 truck loan was paid in the last AP, so that expense for debt retirement out of the equipment budget, the equipment fund is done for this year. And for winter sand, we are up to 117% of the budget, the anticipated budget for winter sand at this point.
That's all in anyway, now.
It's full, as long as it's all been built, the shed's full.
So we're in good shape, that's my summary, but I also brought these for you to look at if you want to take them with you if you have any questions. Oops. Do you have any specific questions about the budget that you wanted to ask about?
Let's do it there, so if they want to do it more, just let me know. I'll come inside.
Okay. will
I
do.
just saw the arrow.
Okay. Okay.
I'm used to doing.
Oh, I hear you, okay, thank you, I appreciate that, okay, I'll let you know.
But yeah, I'll be quick coming through Thursday or
Okay.
something.
Okay. I have the recreation stats if you want to look at them. You had asked me to get some information from Parks and Rec about the use of their Parks and Rec facilities and opportunities for Fairfield residents, so this is what they have for us. Last year, let's see, 15 households from East Fairfield participated. 73 households from Fairfield participated in programs. And altogether, there were 88 different households, and they paid $34,964.50. I'm not sure if you want to have a conversation. I just, yeah, let me know if you would like to have another conversation about that today, or if you want to put it off, or what the select board interest is at this point.
So our residents spent about $35,000 last year.
That's right.
And if we had signed up and paid our
the cost, yeah, so my understanding is that this is they would receive the city rate if we decided to go with something with them. And in order for them to just be charged the city rate, the town of Fairfield would need to allot a certain amount of money. And they are saying that for budgeting purposes, it would be about $16,000 to $18,000 out of the next, our next budget in order to do that. And then they bill quarterly, they said.
That's what I hear, but the numbers still don't pan out. I mean, the town puts forth 18,000, and the resident gets a 20% discount, or it's not a lot, it doesn't, dollar for dollar, it doesn't speak a lot.
So, direction from the select board on how to move forward with the discussion at this point, either from this meeting or a future meeting.
I can't see myself, you know, kids that age, you know, the budget's going up, I can't see supporting this thing. Personally, just
I have
but a
kids-
younger person, I mean.
I have
they're
kids in
not-
the program, it saves us 20, if we did this, it would save us $20. It's not gonna make or break it, unfortunately, and that $20 that it saves me, the town isn't saving. I mean, it's,
I mean, if you're going up, just my estimation, if you're going up the recreation budget, I'd rather see it spent by the town rec group. Whether they expend it or they have enough people volunteering, I don't know.
or up it and hire a high school or a college kid to come in and do a part-time rec program, but this is,
Experience with recreation from my previous lives. Also, something that's not written in here that should be just mentioned is that a big part of their revenue from this town is going to day camps, and day camps are often subsidized as well. They receive a certain amount of money from the household that's paying for the day camp, but some of that money has already been subsidized. So when it comes to the actual expenses that whatever the Fairfield, town of Fairfield was gonna pay for, it would not necessarily,
directly offset out-of-pocket expense for that person.
right, exactly.
It's a good idea, I understand what they're looking for, but it's, like I said, we've got budget problems.
I think their new draw is a pool, year-round pool, but that's only $400 for a family, that's not bad.
I don't know, if it keeps coming up, we can talk about it, and we got some information now that,
I can't say it's the first thing on my agenda, I'm just talking about myself. I think there's other things we're gonna spend money on. But they don't have young kids in it, so.
So if I hear any other questions, I'll just, again, when I heard it the first time, I invited her to come to this meeting and talk to you. And so if I hear about it again, what direction would you have for me?
it's a discussion we've had in the past. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, speaking to the one people on our own rec committee, they were pushing. So they've got young kids, so I'm thinking, well, 51.
I mean, this is triple the rec department budget.
Yeah.
What they want.
Right,
I mean, the other time we joined, every year, increased
Double.
$5,000-6,000
it was
every year.
doubling from the first time we started it.
You know, started out at 2,000 or 3,000 and ended up, it was up over 10.
I think at this point, the discussion is, there's not really a discussion at this point.
It's not feasible.
And if someone can't afford it, there is ways to finance it.
There's a scholarship that you can apply for.
Right.
It's a private scholarship,
Right.
Warner Home, Chauncey Warner Home Scholarship, and I think that there's a certain limit to the amount of times you can apply for that. And honestly, I'll just say this personally, I applied for that for my kids, and it's easy to get through and do. The other thing is that, I mean, this is private, I guess it doesn't matter, but I just, you know,
It'd be interesting to see what they registered for, and what they're going down for, that maybe Fairfield could or might be able to offer. I don't know if we could find that out.
so I did do that work of looking through, I just highlighted a few things, and so sports-related things that they're spending their money on, they spent $8,426, or sorry, $7,297. And then pool-related things with $8,000. Majority of the amount of money spent is on day camp.
It's something to track and keep going, you know, revisit every once in a while.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Do you have more? I'm ready to call.
I know, me too.
I make a motion, we, approve the minutes.
I did pull out the auditing services, RFP that you put out in for the 2019 to 2021. I don't know if you want to, put out a new RFP. It seems like we might want to. In terms of our current audit, we have, it's just been kind of a nightmare. I don't even wanna get into it, but
So there's never,
The last
never been a
time-
final audit?
the last time that I the last time they gave me a date, it was by the end of this month. I said I would like to request that it be before this meeting. And they replied that they can't possibly get it to us before this meeting. So, and this is a series of responses that I've gotten from them over since the beginning of the audit, actually. That's been really challenging for me, so, and for you, I know. But
What's their rationale it's taking so long this time?
they haven't given a clear answer on that one. It's the same answer that they provided you, I think, that's where they leave it. But I do also know that they've been on vacation. They've taken their vacations, they haven't, the communication has not necessarily been easy for them in between their current schedule and the,
Maybe time for a conversation, because I'm running into the same issue with fire department stuff that's been there for 2 years.
At that same group?
Granted, it's not a high priority, but we need to get it done.
So they did say the last time I requested that they send it to us, they said that there is a 9-month single audit requirement by the federal government. But the state of Vermont is requesting that I provide the single audit to them by the end of this month. And I told them that, and they said that they would get it to me the 30th, which gives me 1 day, or I need to request an extension with the state of Vermont. So it runs into administrative stuff on our end, just by virtue of the fact that we can't get a thing in our hands.
Before we were getting within a month.
Yeah, but I think like this year, it's that single audit thing that's screwing them up.
Right, but they can't give the overall and single audit separate, or are they gonna be
No,
done together?
They have to do it together.
Well, I mean, is this the last year of the contract?
Actually, last year it was. This year was a single contract that they just did with us, so it may be wise to have something in writing as well. I think that this one says that there's a specific turnaround. They're not on a contract for a turnaround this year, so.
And how much more were they than the previous year? Because it was a 3-year contract before, right?
I would have to look it up. I know that I have it's in the budget, but,
Not tonight.
so no, not tonight. Take a look at your RFP. If you think you have any changes to it, let me know. I'd like to be able to get that out pretty soon, so.
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve the warrants.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn, unless you got something pressing?
Approve the minutes.
Yeah. I'd like to go to executive session for personnel.
Did we approve minutes?
No decision to be made.
What's that?
No,
Did
we
we
never
approve
finalized it.
minutes?
Yes, we did earlier.
I don't think I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second that.